Hello and welcome to another tutorial video. My name is Tobal and I'm going to be covering a Kenshi tutorial for how to import your game. Importing your game is very important when you have patch changes or if your game just starts to become a little buggy or you're interested in doing a fresh start. So I'll show you these different ideas when I click on the game. What it does is it looks at your saved game list. So I've got a couple of saved games here. I'm going to pick this example save. And you'll see that I've got 75,000 cats. I have 25 faction members. It's 92 days into the game, and I'm hanging out in Okran's Pride, which is the Green Valley area in the Holy Nation territory. You have a couple different options when you're importing your game. At the base level, what this is going to do is bring all of your characters and everything they have with them with you to the previously saved location. On this area, you can choose to change a couple of modifiers. You can bring your buildings with you. You can bring the existing research tree that you've already unlocked. You also can bring dead NPCs if you want, and you can bring your current faction relations. So, if you have a problem where your save is just the game is lagging up because you've got too many dead bodies or you have too many buildings that you just don't want to deal with, but you've kind of loaded your characters up with a bunch of gear, you can choose to uncheck dead NPCs and uncheck import buildings, and what the game will do is will then load you into a brand new game with all of those characters, basically a clean map with only importing your characters, your research, and your existing faction relations. You also can use the reset squad positions button. And what that does is it brings everybody together in a random spot towards the center of the map, which happens to be roughly just south of the Holy Nation territory. You also can choose the advanced options, much like you could when you do a starting of a new game. So if perhaps that you thought that the hunger time was just you always wound up having to eat and you want to change that, well, you could change those settings here. So maybe you wanted to speed up your production and your research, maybe make the game a bit tougher and add extra nests and a higher chance of death. You can make all these modifications here and then import your game. It's going to take a little bit of time, but really it's going to be a fresh start with your existing characters, if that makes sense. I'm also going to show you as it loads through. I'm going to talk through the loading screen here. There's another option if your characters are just stuck. So if you don't want to go through the trouble of reloading everything, there's a nice way to load your game if your characters are either stuck on a building or they're misplaced. So as you can see here, because all of my characters, I chose the option to import them and move them, my characters are all in the same area. And I apologize for any map spoilers here, but I wanted to show you where they're at in relation to the Okran territory. So there's Blister Hill, this is that nice green valley, and we've reset our characters to here. However, I still have my existing tech tree. This looks a little bit strange because I've only just done a couple tech trees. I'm using this as an example for building your base. There's only a couple things unlocked, but it does import your tech tree, and most importantly, it brings everything along with you. So if you've loaded your characters up for bear, then sure enough, you've got all of your goodies here. The other neat little thing I was talking about is if your characters are stuck and you don't want to have to go through that import option. And the import option, by the way, you can only do it from the main screen. You have to, if you've already loaded into the game, you have to save your game, exit the game, relaunch it, and then you'll see that import game button. But if your characters just happen to get stuck, you can save the game first, obviously. So let's do a quick save. And you can load game, reset squad positions, and then load your game. This will force everyone into the same spot that I'm at right now. It's not going to look any different because I didn't move anybody, but it does reset them in position. So I hope those tips were useful for you. It's just a quick little video, and it's a neat little feature. I do it normally when we have a large patch that drops with a lot more information. Now, of course, we are at the 1.0 release, so I don't know how many more patches are coming, but I tend to use it when I make game changes, like I change any mods in the game, or I get a new patch version, or if my game is just starting to get a bit buggy. So I hope that was useful for you. The next video coming up is going to be how to scout out a new base location and then how to start building your base. I hope you continue to join me for this Kenshi tutorial series. If you have any comments, please add them below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching.